Hello and welcome to the program. I'm your host, Neil Howard, here on Health Professional Radio. Thank you for joining us once again. I'm joined today by artist and patient Lydia Emily Archibald. She's a spokesperson and creative director for MS on My Mind. It's an interactive initiative launched by EMD Serono. She's joining us here on the program to talk about her role in that project. And she's joined by Dr. Daniel Bandari. He's the founder of the Multiple Sclerosis Center of California. He's going to talk about some physical challenges and some prevalence associated with MS. Welcome to the program, and thank you both, Lydia and Dr. Bandari.
Thank you for having us, Neil.
Thank you.
Now, Lydia, you're an artist. Are you living with MS, or is this something that you have a personal stake in other than being an artist?
Yeah, no, I do. I live with multiple sclerosis. Mm-hmm. And actually, I have a few family members who are also diagnosed with autoimmune diseases, so this has been a lifelong thing for me. And as a painter, it's definitely been very challenging because multiple sclerosis has taken partial eyesight, has taken one of my eyes from me, and has taken a lot of mobility from my hands, long-term mobility, like being able to hold a brush for more than a few minutes at a time. So being an artist, I would imagine it would be impactful for any job, but I only have my experience. And so as being an artist, it's very difficult as far as depth perception for my paintings. Being able to paint these people's faces has been, it's been very difficult.
Dr. Bandari, what causes MS and how prevalent is it?
So what causes MS is that million-dollar question that we really do not have an answer for. So what we do believe as scientists is that MS is a multifactorial. 3 or 4 factors come together and make the disease prevalence as a susceptible person. And those factors are, number one, genetic. We all have genes that we inherited from our parents and great-parents and great-grandparents. So MS does have a genetic composition to it. The second part is environmental, where we are born and raised the first 15 years of our life, also has been shown to have some percentage variation as far as the risk of MS. And the third is our immune responses to the environment, such as infections when we were children, for example, or response to some of the other elements of the immune system. So the constellation of those 3 things is what causes MS, we believe. Now, the prevalence of MS in the United States, based on the last figure, has been approximately 1 million people live with multiple sclerosis in the U.S., and approximately 2.4 million people in the world have multiple sclerosis.
So would you say that more people are impacted at an earlier age when symptoms first present, or is it something that you look for later in life, or does it even matter?
That's actually a very good question. So the average age of diagnosis of MS is between 20 to 40. Having said that, the span of MS age range goes anywhere from 3-year-old all the way to 73-year-old. So as you can tell, anybody at any age could be diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. But the majority of the impactful portion of the life of the patient is during their adulthood and late adulthood that they're affected. And this is when they're graduating from college, when they're about to get married, when they're having the job, or when they're having children. So that's one of the biggest elements about MS compared to other neurological disorders, such as stroke and Alzheimer, which affect patients in the later portion of their life. MS actually affects them in the midst of their, livelihood and adulthood.
Lydia, I understand that your situation is a bit more complicated because you were being treated for cancer prior to your MS diagnosis. Talk about some of the symptoms and maybe some of the reasons, some of the symptoms that may have been covered up due to your treatment.
Oh, that's interesting. I've never actually had anybody ask me that before. Yes, I did. I had cancer, clear cell carcinoma. And when I was done with my surgery and my radiation from that, it was about a year later that I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. I actually was diagnosed in the emergency room, which is so funny because the poor emergency room doctor, I don't think he was ready to, tell somebody that day. He looked so nervous. I actually felt worse for him than I did for me, that poor guy. But I had gone to the emergency room because they thought I was having a stroke because half of my tongue was numb. And because I didn't fit, I think, the demographic of somebody who would have a stroke, I was 39 or whatever. I was not overweight. I wasn't smoking in the emergency room. Like nothing matched up with the stroke. So that's when they had found the abnormalities, the lesions on my brain and on my spine. So that I don't know that that my cancer treatment or diagnosis affected the MS diagnosis at all. If anything, I knew how to navigate the medical system much better. I was more of a veteran at that point on how to, get answers, which is really the most important thing you can do for yourself is get answers.
MS presents with any kind of symptoms, basically. So we call it the biggest mimicker. However, majority of the patients do present with things such as vision problems, weakness, numbness, heaviness of the leg, balance problem, gait, walking in some cases can affect it later on in life, or sometimes invisible symptoms of MS could be things such as cognitive dysfunction, fatigue. So as you can imagine, any typical daily symptoms that anybody can have can be part of MS. However, not to put too much alert in there, majority of those symptoms that most of us wake up in the morning and we have some tingling in our hand and goes away in a matter of 10, 15 minutes, less likely would be MS. However, if someone experiences any of these symptoms, that stays with them, for a while, in my opinion, they should be contacting their physician right away and get evaluated. Now, the great thing would be in most cases, maybe nothing. But at the same time, if it end up being multiple sclerosis, the best part of it is that if you get diagnosed early and start treatment early, the chances of having a normal quality of life is much higher today.
Lydia, you're a spokesperson and a creative director for MS on My Mind. Talk about MS on My Mind. What is the goal? What's it all about?
Oh, I'm really excited about this. So I was lucky enough to partner with EMD Serono and help put together this MSisonmymind.com website. And what's so awesome is that you go to it and you can upload anything you like, a picture of you and your family, some artwork that you've done, a sketch on a napkin, drawings. Some people have actually uploaded poetry and writing from their phone. And I'm taking those submissions, and ultimately the goal is to produce a original piece of art, so an oil painting, which is what I do for each of the submissions that we choose. So a man had written in about how his leg was so heavy and how it felt like an anvil as he was walking, or a weight. And so I made an oil painting of a man sitting in a kind of a classic portraiture style, but he has an actual anchor for a leg, a big metal shiny anchor instead of a leg. And a woman had written in about how she misses just doing normal activities like blow drying her hair because the blow dryer is so heavy. So I did a portrait of a woman blow drying her hair with an anvil. Things like that. Sometimes when your loved ones around you, if they don't have the sickness, and MS can have such invisible symptoms to your friends and loved ones, to have this visual of it can really help people understand what you're going through. So I'm really grateful to be able to work on this, and I'm so excited about all the submissions we're getting.
Well, our listeners would like to get some more information about MSOMM. Where can we go online and get that information and learn some more about MS and how it impacts those who are living with it?
Well, for the initiative that I'm doing, it's called MSisonmymind.com. You can just go straight to it and upload your images there so that I can see them. And for general multiple sclerosis information, the doctor.
So yes, obviously, there are great websites available which have vast of information on them for your audience to be able to get more insight into MS. National MS Society, nmss.org, has a great website. Multiple Sclerosis Association of America is another website. MS Foundation is another website. MS Center of California, our center, also has a website which has a great deal of information on it as well. So there are a plethora of great resources available to the patients to learn about the disease and also learn how to cope with it.
Great. Well, I thank you both for joining us here on Health Professional Radio today. It's been a pleasure. Lydia and Dr. Bandari, thank you both for taking the time.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. Transcripts and audio of this program are available at hpr.fm and healthprofessionalradio.com.au. And be sure and visit our affiliates page when you visit our platform at hpr.fm and healthprofessionalradio.com.au.
Thank you for listening to Health Professional Radio. We're very proud to be an independent broadcaster providing our content free of charge to you, the listener. One of the ways that we're able to remain free and independent is by having people like you become patrons. You can support Health Professional Radio simply by visiting hpr.fm and clicking the button that says Become a Patron. Your patronage of even just $1 a month lets us know that you're there, which in turn makes us more valuable to advertisers. And, of course, if you're able to afford more, then we would certainly appreciate the support. My name is Toby Longhurst from Health Professional Radio. Please visit hpr.fm, click the Become a Patron button, and support us if you can.